We begin with the troubles within Nigeria's major opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, as the party, through its National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba, has disowned the Deputy National Publicity Secretary, Ibrahim Abdullahi, after Abdullahi, retracted the party's earlier endorsement of the Governor Sim Fubara-backed executive committee in Rivers State at a press conference on Friday in Abuja. Abdullahi also had accused Ologunagba of misrepresenting the position of the National Working Committee on key party issues, including the judgment on Rivers State Congresses and the leadership of the party's National Secretary. But in a swift reaction, Ologunagba asserted that Abdullahi lacked the authority to speak on behalf of the party unless explicitly directed by him, the substantive National Publicity Secretary, or in his absence. And to help us take a look at the conflict of interest tearing the PDP apart is the political strategist and director of the Heritage Center, Dr. Ononuju. Welcome to the program, Doctor. So, I mean, your party seems to be entangled in all sorts of controversy. There's a pro-Wike faction in the NWC, and then there's a pro-Fubara faction in the NWC. How could Nigeria's former governing party be so much divided, mostly because of one of the oil-rich states in the country, Rivers State?
Well, I would say I thank you very much for bringing this issue up. I would want to tell you that the entirety of the party are actually with Governor Fubara. There is no pro-Wike or pro-Fubara. You could have people make, purposed statements. The people are purposed to make statements that are not in the best interest of the party. That is not from the party. So this is what you call boogeymen. At the end of the day, the PDP supports democracy and supports the rights of the elected governor of Rivers State, Governor Sim Fubara, to be in charge of the state as he's been. Don't forget, through history, no minister has ever defeated a governor. Don't forget that. But that's not to say that what you see and those who act factions. No. I know we have an internal crisis, which I call the Atiku conundrum, and that's what's been affecting us. And that's because of our reactions. And that's why I would actually say most of us are reacting to the actions of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar not to respect the inclusion doctrine in nation building, which presupposes that when you take, you should also expect that other people should take. And once the Northerners are taken with the help of Atiku, who now launched MPDP to bring about the Buhari presidency, we thought he should have given way as a statesman. When he refused and mounted the challenge for the ticket, what happened? The party blew up. And that's why you've seen we've gone different paths. And
so you're saying that even on the Rivers crisis,
yes,
there's still an Atiku and Wike
challenge. No.
So
there is a
PDP.
There is a PDP side on the Rivers something, but of course there are some people who would behave in line with the intentions towards friendship. It's not in the interest of the party for anybody in the PDP to go against Governor Fubara. And if you look at
well, it doesn't seem so with the Sam Anyanwu issue, for example.
No,
there are allegations that Sam Anyanwu is pro-Wike, and the party is fighting through Damagum to ensure that he stays there, despite the fact that there was a Court of Appeal judgment earlier in December, which they are now saying that there was also another stay of execution that was granted by the Court of Appeal in Abuja and not that of Enugu, asking that all parties should maintain the status quo.
Well, the status quo is Governor Wike have seen that you can actually undermine the process using the court processes. Yes, he is doing that. Do we care? We don't care. The party's gone. That you do not want the party to be proper, to be inclusive. If anybody comes and starts slapping you and tearing your shape, nobody will care because you start something silly. If you want peace in the party, those of them from the north, led by Atiku, should simply let go of the presidency. If they don't allow that to happen, we from the south don't mind that Tinubu rules forever. That's the mindset of a lot of the party members from the southeast, from the south-south, even most of the north-central, those who suffered from the activities of militiamen that were performing ethnic cleansings across the north. So for us, we have now seen that President Tinubu has attacked the security problem in a way nobody like Atiku will ever do.
Well,
it's more of a national issue.
And people are still ascribing some of the issues happening in this party of yours
Yes.
To the APC's intrusion, with allegations that President Tinubu is also fiddling with some things happening in
That's
the PDP.
not true. It's us, the PDP members, that undermine the party. When we undermine our party by not respecting inclusion through zoning, that's when the crisis started. If you start fighting in your house with your brothers or your wife, and then neighbors start talking to them, you're not going to blame the neighbor. It's you who started the fight. You that gave the opportunity to people outside to start saying things about what you are doing. Don't forget,
But
not
Kachi,
what they started.
you have been in the PDP since
I have
inception,
been,
alongside
yes.
several other leaders of the party.
Believing that the
Aren't
party
you
was
people-
a national party.
Aren't you people, dampened by this sort of situation where two national officers, a national publicity secretary
Yes.
and his deputy national publicity secretary, are all speaking from both sides on the same issue of the PDP?
Why are you worrying about
Yeah,
small issues?
Shouldn't you people be preparing for 2027?
What you should ask yourself is, what caused the party to implode? You need to look at that. Stop talking about the small reactions. Look at the main problem. What brought the party to this implosion point? That's what you have to ask. Why did we leave the party to start the youth movement led by Governor Obi? These are the reasons you ask. Why did we leave? Kwankwaso left. I left with Peter Obi and we started the youth movement. Other people left. Ask yourself why.
And some of you are still coming back. I mean, like you yourself.
Not say
you had
coming
to
back. A lot of us
You
are
had to come
simply
back.
maintaining a presence to be sure that since we built the party, we're not going to allow those who have no respect for us to gain advantage. We'd rather be there and undermine their intentions towards advantage. And that's what we're doing.
Doesn't this look like a vote of no confidence on Damagun himself? How could he be there as
Damagun
national
is
chairman?
just a tool.
And two of his officers in the National Working Committee will be speaking from both sides on behalf of the same party.
You are now talking about what's going on in the party after the implosion. I'm asking you, look at the main reasons for the implosion. That's all I'm asking you. Stop beating about the bush, this, that. Anybody can do anything. Once there's a crisis, there is a crisis. How did the crisis come? You do a post-mortem because the party had its members form a caucus called MPDP, use that to now bring down the party's government. That's what Atiku Abubakar did. And when he brought in Buhari, after Buhari's 8 years, he refused to respect the right of other Nigerians to gain inclusion in the party. And that's why we said, are you going to do that? He used money to undermine this same NWC you're talking about. Gave them 100 million, took a form, and then that's why they could not set up anything like zoning committee. How can you do zoning committee when you have his 100 million? How are you going to return the money? Who will return the money?
Well, these are allegations.
This is what happened, not allegation.
Actually, I mean,
when you
because
gave
it's not on
somebody 100
record,
million,
it's not on record.
it is on record. This
okay,
is what
well,
happened.
maybe
He
you
gave
should be
100
providing
million,
the proof.
took a nomination form, and then they started talking about zoning. How can you do zoning when already the man who took the 100 million told you, if anything will happen, if you want anything to change, who will replace this money that we're already spending? This is just the game. So if, and I say it broadly, the Northern Caucus of the party led by Atiku would not respect the right of other people to also contest for presidency, then the party will remain as comatose and moribund as it is. And as I've told you, it is better Tinubu rules forever.
Well, maybe some of your party members may disagree.
Yes.
So does the PDP have an Atiku problem? And that's
Yes.
why the NWC is divided?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
The PDP's problem is primarily an Atiku Abubakar problem.
So what if he intervenes now? I mean,
there is no way he's just...
Because the APC will just be by the side, just laughing at you.
No, listen.
Ahead of 2027, I mean, we just have just a year and a half before, we get into party primaries and all of that. Shouldn't the APC be, smiling to the polls ahead of 2027 with this kind of division?
It's a democracy. Currently, the country is running a one-party system. And I can state here that the actions of Atiku has destroyed the democracy more than anyone else.
And that's what I'm saying. That
now the democracy doesn't have an opposition.
Can he intervene?
Let him walk away. If he walks away, the Southerners will say, fine, it's our turn now to do this. How could a foundation member, former vice president under the PDP just walk away from a party that he helped build? The foundation member has become a vexing conundrum. And that's why, because he refused to respect the inclusion of other people through that instrument called zoning, the people left and the party fell. The implosion, listen to me. Wherever you go and you see some Nigerians not welcome in a particular locality, in a particular setting, in a particular organization, leave that place. It's not accommodating for anybody.
All right, now let's get back to the Rivers issue. How could Governor Fubara still be insisting on, some of these things happening in the PDP when we know that some of his allies actually defected to the APP and won local government elections, and it looks like he still wants to bring some people to actually take hold of the PDP, when the thinking among some PDP people is that his legs are already out of the party.
His legs are not out. Governor Fubara is a bona fide and honest member.
Did you see the jubilation when his allies won the local government elections under the APP?
But that's natural. Since 1998, all governors have always won. The governor won, and the governor also has control of the House of Assembly. Governor Wike ruled Rivers State with 6 members of House of Assembly. So the court said, the same way Governor Wike will rule 6 members, Governor Fubara can also rule with members below the 10th digit. There's nothing wrong about it. Fubara is liked. Fubara today brought the President General of Ohanezo Ndigbo. So that brings him to a stronger caucus in the Old Eastern region. Fubara also now will come to Abuja. As you're talking about that party has no presidential candidate. If they adopt President Tinubu tomorrow, Fubara is sweet with the presidency. So I think Governor Fubara is home and clear and doing very well, and everybody likes him. I like Governor Fubara. I'm also very happy Governor Fubara is saying the way they will say, balancing very strong. He is staying there gidigba. Nobody will remove him. He's a governor. It's never happened before.
Well, his godfather is out there and is still crying.
He doesn't have a godfather. Listen, the man you saw today that is President General for Ohanezo Ndigbo, when he was Senator Zubike Mbata, it was him who suggested that Governor Wike be made local government chairman. Yeah, when Amechi told that to Odili said no. Senator Mbata came in and took Wike. Mbata is from Eneka. In Obiakpo local government. He's an Ikwere man. He's an Igbo man. That's why he's today. That's a bigger game than all the stories you're talking about. Because you see, with an Ikwere man becoming President General for Ohaneze, that meant the 67-year-old plot to de-Igbonize Rivers State has failed.
Are there plans to actually, cut Wike to size, including from the presidency?
I don't know.
Do you think
it's not
the
about
crowds are gathering against Wike? Because I mean, a lot of people were actually
you're putting it wrong.
That Governor Fubara's candidate, would have emerged as President General of Ohaneze, and of course, President Tinubu went ahead immediately and issued a press statement congratulating Senator Mbata.
That's for you to now know that Governor Fubara, as I said, belongs to a much larger caucus of the political decision makers of Eastern Nigeria and of Nigeria.
Is he still in charge of the PDP in Rivers State?
Well, being in charge, PDP is a party. Party is structure. Structure is human beings. And the critical stakeholders, none of them will walk away from the governor's place. As governor has now brought that Azubike Mbata as President General, the first place that suffers the heat is Obako Ikwere. Those with the governor will move with Mbata. Those against the governor, it's difficult to stand with Wike because right now all of the Ikwere people are moving to close ranks. They have been brought in since after the Civil War. Igbos have told them, you're part of us. You have this. Everybody's happy. Forget about those objectors. They are of no consequence. They don't make no sense.
Well, there are some in the NWC who are not walking away from Wike. And of course,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Umar Damagun, who is the acting national chairman of the PDP, seems to be a pro-Wike through his decisions and actions.
Is Damagun not a human being? If Damagun is instrumented by cash to now become the boogeyman, is he not human? No, tell me now.
Do we have lots of boogeymen in the PDP?
But anybody, of course. In politics, you have a lot of boogeymen. You have those who are instrumented by the smell of money. You have those who, despite money smelling around their ear, they stand firm on character. So,
shouldn't Governor Fubara be befriending his national chairman? I mean, as a sitting governor?
No. The national chairman, as you call Damagun, as you rightly pointed out, Governor Wike probably just seized him. And I will say Damagun is a captive person right now in the camp of former Governor Wike. And I tell you, he's human. And anybody who is human could be available to be undermined by money. And if that is the reason, you move away from those who are looked at as men of character. So I think you don't need to play too much on Damagun. The important thing is, despite how weak or how damaged Mr. Damagun has become, the PDP is still actively behind, in principle, the ways and the governorship of Governor Sim Fubara. I'm telling you, I'm from the East. I was in Enugu as a member of Imobi of the Ohaneze. And so we were there. The candidate that Governor Fubara brought came to Enugu. Nobody opposed him. And we affirmed him right there in Enugu. We were very happy for what he did. All our governors saw him as friends. Right from Governor Uzodinma, who is the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum. All of them now see Governor Fubara, one of them. They will make his case before President Tinubu, understand the fundamentals of what's being constructed. So, Minister Wike is out on his own, which is normal in every human arrangement. You don't need to win every time. No governor have ever lost to a senator since 1998. Listen, the powers of the governors are just enormous. Governors are much more powerful than the president under democracy.
Well, interesting conversation. As we try to coast home, talk to me about the issues of reconciliation and discipline. Is there no longer discipline in the PDP? We had a national disciplinary committee that went round and disciplined some members for leaving the party or for engaging in anti-party activities. But at some point, it looked like it was no longer effective. And then they tried the issue of reconciliation, and it looked like it was working very well, the likes of Saraki and all of that. But it looks like that has also failed. So what happened to the issues of discipline and reconciliation in the PDP? Or has the party lost both?
The party has to stand as a strong body, as a strong institution, before it will be able to discipline members. When there were no consequences against those who did anti-party in 2015, why would you now seek for consequences against people like me who did anti-party in 2023?
Well, the Ekuremadu report is there. I mean, 2019.
Then why wasn't it? Because the party has lost. The party became weak. Its institutions undermined, as you're now properly telling me, as much as the top, the acting chairman, Damagun, got corrupted, and we're now talking about how his actions seem to undermine the directive principles of the party.
Well,
who are you going to blame for this?
Allegedly. So, the thinking is that ahead of 2027, the PDP should have been trying to, build some sort of coalition like the APC did in 2013, 2014, ahead of 2027. Doesn't mean that it looks like the PDP is gone. It's no longer a winning machine, an election winning machine. Actually.
The party died when Atiku led those caucus members to undermine inclusion through zoning. That's when the party died, and right now it's comatose and moribund, and that's why the APC seems so good. A lot of us in the PDP, intellectually, are in tune with what President Tinubu is doing. A lot of his policies.
How do you mean?
Oh, yes. His policy of fighting, what is his name? Insecurity. He may not have done everything, and with it, his policy of returning the 167 schools built by President Goodluck, a PDP president, that Buhari and his cabal undermined. Why?
You mean for the Almajiri?
Yes. Don't forget why they undermined it. Those who were with Buhari were mostly Fulani. 99% of Almajiri in Nigeria are Hausas. If you allow the Hausas access to mass education, it might undermine the futuristic intentions of the Fulani oligarchy who think they are the cabal. Going back to the Hugh Clapperton report, Hugh Clapperton told you it is those who form the oligarchy that are undermining the North's economic progress. That's why the North in Nigeria today is the poorest part of the earth.
All right, very quickly. I mean, in all of this, the thinking is that heading into 2027, there should be some sort of a coalition of political party. We've seen Labour Party leader Peter Obi, having discussions with Atiku Abubakar and then some others. Do you think that
he's not having discussions? Please, don't make me mistake.
Well, we've been seeing visitations.
Wait, hold on, please.
He has visited Atiku Abubakar twice.
Visiting a man doesn't mean having discussions.
Are you saying that during those periods they don't have discussions on the future of Nigeria or their political parties?
They have floating talks. And we know, that's why we want people to be careful. Atiku is deceitfully manipulative. That's why you saw when Atiku tried to sell some spin, Kwankwaso said, no, we've not had a discussion. Peter Obi said, no, we have not.
No, do you believe that there could be a merger or an alliance or something that could help stand against the APC?
Yes. When Atiku goes away, younger people from the North, because if he runs with Peter, he won't be VP.
You keep insisting on Atiku going away. Do you have any personal problem against Atiku?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have a personal problem with anybody who destroys our democracy, who undermines inclusion, who damages nation building. I'm a Nigerian. The reason I'm telling you now that instead of anything like Atiku, Tinubu should rule forever and now support him, is because
I mean, Atiku has a right to come out for 2027.
Yeah, but
the Constitution doesn't buy him.
Doesn't have a right to destroy our democracy. You need inclusion. Anybody who wants to be accepted in any committee must think not only of himself, but also other people.
All right, Dr. Kaj, just before I let you go, I mean, just a word for Wike and Fubara. Could there be any room for reconciliation?
Of course there is. Governor Wike should understand that he has stopped being a governor, and now that Governor Fubara is on the seat, there's nothing he can do. Thank God the court told him the way you rule with 6 people is the way he can rule with 3 people.
How about the NWC? I mean, any room for reconciliation?
You're talking about the NWC of my moribund party, a party that is currently comatose.
All right.
Let's talk about people with life, not dying things, please.
Well, you don't seem to have some optimism on the future of the PDP.
No. Listen, I do have that. I do have. It's a human organization.
All right.
What I care about is our democracy. I care about having some opposition. But right now you can't have it if they cannot agree to work together because of
and
suspicion.
You don't think one-party state is also dangerous?
Atiku has helped us to become a one-party state. If he had allowed the Southerners to run, there would have been a strong opposition today against whoever won.
Almost thank you so much, Dr. Ononuju is a political strategist and director of the Heritage Center. And he just keeps saying that the PDP has an Atiku problem. We just hope that somehow there will be some room for reconciliation, because it's actually dangerous for Nigeria to resort into a one-party state. But we must thank you so much for joining us to help expand on the issues happening in Nigeria's major opposition, the PDP.